June 3rd. I'm glad you found your way here. Grab a coffee and let's get smarter together. You probably know what a murmuration is, a version of flocking. But there are major differences to simple flocking. Starlings murmurate in much denser, bigger groups than other species of birds. They also tend to dance rather than flying in one direction. At sunset, they take to the skies and swirl into spheres, planes, and waves. It's like modern free dance, which scientists think is a visual invitation to attract other starlings to join the group. The reasons given for why they would extend such an invitation vary from security in numbers to body heat exchange during the night roost. The reason given I like the most is information exchange, because I think what we see in the skies is again nature's answer to the tug of war between the desire to capitalize on the highest possible payoff random searches offer and the impact of time and metabolic restraints. And as such, a murmuration is a perfect visualization of the interplay of the slow-speed intercellular communication system and the high-speed neural communication system in the continuous process of generating a model of the world and the self as an actor within in us humans. A single starling of the thousands that come together in a murmuration stands in as a cell, while the murmuration is our model of the world and the number of birds in it taking an action are the self. The single bird collects and interprets information independently in its own unique and uniquely limited fashion. The results in it then communicates to the other birds. They will use this information in their own independent collection and interpretation efforts, adding their own flavor. Their results will either reinforce or cancel the first bird's findings, and so on. All birds, all the time. There's a constant back and forth going on, a constant whisper, a constant murmur. That's comparable with a slow-speed intercellular communication system. A large group size ensures that all available data is collected and weighed at least once in combination with all the other. But if that was the only way the starlings in the murmuration would compute and communicate information, the flock would move in ultra-slow motion. Predators would have easy picking, while the starlings would fall out of the sky for a lack of energy. Time and metabolic restraints, you see? If they didn't exist, the system would be perfect, yielding the highest possible payoff obtainable only via random search. Alas, the restraints exist. So, based on a cost-benefit analysis, for a flock to be efficient, the optimal number of neighbors that a bird should communicate with is 7. And that plays out in nature. The results of info gathering and interpreting of this 8 will be combined to 1. That one combined result is again meshed with the combined results of a neighboring 8, only to be merged on the next level and the next again and again. Thus we very quickly arrive at one model of the world, what the actor therein should look like, which birds it should comprise of, and what actions this actor should take. We arrived at consciousness, simply because we needed a workaround for the restraints. On the path to get there, time and metabolic restraints forced the flock of starlings to discard a lot of information and ways to interpret it. But what was discarded isn't lost to the network, as the simplification happened above the layer of a single bird and its interaction with its neighbors in the high-speed communication system. And since the transfer of information between the lowest level and the levels above it of agents representing groups and groups of groups is a continuous process, and information discarded at one moment can make it all the way up to the model of the world and self in the next, which will therefore look constantly different. Over time, our single bird will be part of the actor taking a turn and then again not. Big picture, it will show in the dance moves of a murmuration, which are highly improbable, but not impossible to be ever the same, since they happen in a changing environment. And even if we are yet unable to understand what the purpose of a murmuration is exactly, it is a facilitation of a random search, despite time and metabolic restraints that would otherwise prevent it. A random search that promises the highest payoff. Be like a murmuration inside your body and a starling out in the world. Explore, as known as think. Make a habit out of thinking. Let's turn thinking into a movement. Like, comment, share, and follow, lest you miss a single opportunity to improve yourself and society. Once you do, we'll meet again at the coffee pot.